Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mitchell Jennings. I am head women's basketball coach at Patrick Henry Community College in Martinsville, Virginia. Right now, I am a student in MCAA 530, Ethics in Sports, at Concordia University, Irvine. I am going to present to you today my oral presentation of my PowerPoint, and my topic is the value of being a decisive coach. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, decisive means having the power or quality of deciding. As I go through this presentation, you will see that there will be a constant theme on the importance of making decisions, decisions that are tough to make, considering at times the environment may not be friendly, the environment may not be conducive to getting a message across to players, meaning that there will be crowds, depending on the schools or the level. There'll be pep bands, there'll be music playing during timeouts, and there'll be a lot of things that could potentially break our communication chain as far as me as a coach or us as coaches conveying to our players in a matter of 30 seconds during a timeout what it is that we want them to do. However, I'm going to go over a couple of things. Hopefully, at least the gist of it is we'll understand the importance of making decisions and being a decision maker in the midst of competition. Decision making is a fundamental element of any sport, especially open, fast, dynamic team sports such as volleyball, football, soccer, rugby, and basketball. So these sports are fast sports. Situations can happen at a matter of a second, and games can change in basketball off of it could be up 7, have 3 bad offensive possessions, and then come back and have 3 bad defensive possessions. And if they've made a 3 or 2, let's say they've made 2 threes, that 7-point lead now is a 1-point deficit, just that fast. Now the coach was practicing, or I wouldn't say practicing, the coach was in his mind preparing himself to build on the lead. That's the intent, to build on the lead and continue to get better. But in the span of 3 trips up and down the court, his mindset has totally changed from how can we keep this lead and extend it to now we've got to come up with something first to stop the tide of this team who's found some momentum, and they've taken us out of our rhythm, and now we're playing catch up, literally, not in terms of just the scoreboard, but mentally we're trying to catch up and regain that hard competitive edge that had us leading prior to that. There are 3 prime moral values to guide our decision making. So our decision making, it stems from who we are as a person, meaning our values in life and the things that we believe in, the things that we uphold, the things that we teach our kids. Again, I will say that the gist of I wouldn't say the gist, the whole thing of my presentation on decision making is being able to make it in uncomfortable situations. So we have to make sure that we're being guided by things that are instilled in us. But as I lost track of what I was saying, sometimes in the heat of competition, we may find ourselves maybe breaking to a degree some of our internal principles, not breaking them to the extent of just changing and being somewhat fake, but to the point of having to just come up with something, and you have to really convey to our players that this is what we're going to do, and this is going to work if you do it just as I say. We believe that as we draw it up. However, in the back of our minds, we're hoping to say, golly, I hope they really pull this off. Hope they listen to me and we execute this very well. But the three prime moral values to guide our decision-making process are justice, which includes distributive, procedural, and compensatory. The other value is honesty, the condition or capacity of being truthful or trustworthy in dealing with others. Beneficence, not doing harm, preventing harm, removing harm, and doing good. Being decisive creates followers and allows leaders to convey their vision. So if we're decisive in the things that we're preparing our team to do, we have to be decisive about it, and they have to trust that what we're saying is accurate, and then they'll be open to following us and trying their best to achieve what we're attempting. Why I chose decisive is basketball coaches have to make quick decisions in the midst of pandemonium. One of my family rules for my kids is make a decision and stick with it. I mean, we're all guilty. Something as simple as, what do we want for dinner tonight? I don't know. And I tell my kids, this is just one example that's kind of broad, but we'll just use it. I mean, not necessarily what we're eating, but whatever it is in life, as you go on, when you make a decision and you actually start moving on that decision, you stick with it. You stick with it and you do everything in your power to make that decision to be a good decision, and to let anyone that know that you made that decision, let them know that yes, I made that decision. They can say, oh, that was a good decision you made. Not necessarily for a pat on the back and praise, but we also have self-esteem, and we want to make sure that we're doing things to uplift ourselves as well. Another thing is coaches that make strong, confident decisions can send that same energy to his or her players during a timeout. So we have to say what we believe and believe in what we say, and the players will follow suit. A decisive basketball coach is a basketball coach will call it play or set up a defense for any situation a game can bring about and convey it with authority. A decisive basketball coach can instill confidence in his team if he conveys his point with confidence. A decisive and successful basketball coach can be a positive leader in his school and in his community. What happens when leaders are not decisive? When leaders are unsure of their next move, the players can sense that and will go out and be timid and unsure of how to execute. Being indecisive can lead to negative job performances. Being indecisive can lead to loss of recruits and supports confidence. Indecisive confusion can lead to losing and ridicule. General George Patton once said, "Be willing to make decisions. That's the most important quality in a good leader." Nowadays, there's a new thing going around. Well, it's not really new, it's just being brought back to the forefront again. But analytical decision making is, analytics are a part of decision making these days. And analytical decision making at its core. Basketball analytics is just the analysis of statistical data through a number of different methods. These methods may include the use of tools, processes, or procedures. Sports analytics are a collection of relevant historical statistics that, when properly applied, can provide a competitive advantage to a team or individual. Through the collection and analysis of these data, sports analytics inform players, coaches, and other staff in order to facilitate decision making, both during and prior to sporting events. In conclusion, I like to say a decisive coach has the ability to lead his players in a way that supersedes wins and losses. As coaches, we are given the task of reaching our players and helping them learn to make the right decisions in life. Being a living example for them to witness can lay the foundation for teaching them the importance of being confident and making decisions to benefit themselves and their teammates. I thank you for taking the time to listen to me today, and this is my PowerPoint on decision making for my class, and I hope that you all maybe have found something that you can use from my words. Thank you.